Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this finds you today. If you are a parent, grandparent, teacher, whoever, someone that's in contact with kids and you want to understand how to keep your child safe online, then you've come to the right place. My name is Cai Graham. I am a parenting specialist and I'm author of The Teen Toolbox. It is my mission, I kid you not, to help parents support their children through adolescence. Yeah, it's a big one, but together we can create and build a mentally healthier and happier generation of young people. And screen time and technology and this digital world is really throwing a cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak. It is causing a lot of angst for parents, and more so because they are worried about their children. They are seeing the effects that screen time can have on their kids, and their kids as a whole are struggling. Enjoying it, loving it most of the time, but struggling. There was a survey, we're going to talk about the safety of online usage. There was a survey sort of done just recently by, I think it was Dr. Sloan, who was the neuro-oncologist at university hospitals in America. And he said that the number one killer for young people was texting whilst driving. So that if you have a child who is at driving age or has friends whose children or whatever, whose friends who are driving, you need to have that conversation fast. I can't really help you any more on that point, but I want to draw your attention to the fact that that is the number one killer as far as online usage, was texting whilst driving. So other than that, how can we keep our kids safe? How can we keep our kids safe online? Well, I have a mnemonic and an acronym. It's basically safety, SAFETY, and there are 6 pointers that I give you. Actually, there's probably a lot more that I give you so that you can follow to keep your child safe online. And the first one is S for security. It's actually chapter 10 in this book. The link is in the description. But I devote a whole chapter to understanding social media in the digital world. So S for security, what on earth does that mean? Well, I've broken it down into the 6 P's. And the first one is people. The thing is that many of our kids go into chat rooms, make friends, chat away to people, they think they're kids, that they might not have met. They are more interested in needing and receiving validation and comfort and reassurance and likes and whatever from it doesn't matter who. But these people online may or may not be who your child thinks they are. Now, I appreciate that I am probably addressing the slightly younger side of teenagers rather than the more savvy older teens, but this is worth knowing for everyone. Flip's sake, I was in a chat room myself. My kids were 10, so it must have been about 10 years ago when I was still a photographer, and I agreed to meet someone who was in a chat room, and I was driving the kids to school, and they, and I was sort of chatting with them. They said, so what are you doing until, I said, well, I'm meeting someone, he's a photographer. And I said, I haven't a clue, I don't know what he looks like, so I'm going to have to probably wear a red rose and pretend. And my kids just went, you what? And I went, no, I'm meeting this guy. And they went, do you know him? And I went, no. Mum, you can't do that. So sometimes, we need to learn from our kids. And I sort of went, but he's in this chat. And I suddenly realised, and I was an adult, I suddenly realised I didn't know this guy. And I thought, right, well, safeguard, let's just chat to some of my friends that I do know. Do you know this guy? Do you know? And everyone went, no. I'm sure he sounds like a really nice bloke, but no, we've never actually met him. And I suddenly realised the danger that I was potentially putting myself in. I'm sure he probably was nothing wrong with him at all. But I hadn't done my safety checks. I hadn't done my, and I had assumed because he was in this photography chat room that he was just as nice as me and just wanted to talk about focal whatever and apertures. And anyway, actually, I decided I had to walk the talk, and I decided I couldn't meet this chap. But that's just to show you how easy it is, that these people may not be who they say they are. So that's the first P. Second P is personal details. Be very, very careful and get your child to be very careful what they share online. And the thing is, you might, oh no, I don't leave my address. No, but are your kids in their school uniform? Bam! If someone is wanting to know where to get hold of them, they can go to their school. And probably because their profile picture looks like, your profile picture looks like your child, if you know what I mean, then they are easily sort of spotted. And if they've said all the lovely things about their favourite band and their pets, then someone could come up and start talking to them about their favourite bands and their pets, knowing exactly who they are and whatever. So be very, very careful of all the personal details that you and your child share online. The third P is passwords. I know we are getting more savvy, but still not savvy enough. How many of you have the name of your favourite pet or the same password going across all platforms? Because it's easy. And you might share your Facebook password with one person, and then they can get through if they happen to want to, or they might share it, or whatever. And one password can then get you straight through to your bank, for goodness sake. So be very careful about sharing passwords. There are now apps that sort of have so many, create a random password that's probably about 100 digits long, and it's an absolute pain if you forget it, but I tell you what, it keeps everything safer. Watch out for your privacy settings as well. It's important. It's so important, because if your privacy settings aren't set up, which leads me to the next P, which is public Wi-Fi. If your privacy settings aren't set up properly, then if you are then going to public Wi-Fi where there is no safeguard at all, someone can jump in and could hack your account, or could find personal details about you, or could just sort of stalk you, and this is you or your child, obviously. So beware of P, privacy settings, and P, public Wi-Fi, because there is no safeguard. So if you're sitting in Starbucks thinking, oh, this is great, I've got Wi-Fi, it's lovely, don't start using PayPal. Don't start typing in your credit card details. It's common sense, but we forget. And then P, the last P, prudence. Just think, use some common sense. Be very, very careful what you click on. And it could be receiving an email from an address you don't understand. I mean, come on, it's a bit like when the phone rings now. If my landline rings now, unless I recognise the number, I don't touch it, because it's someone asking me about PPI, or they're at a call centre somewhere trying to just annoy the feck out of me. So I don't answer anything that I don't know on my phone, landline or my mobile. So you really shouldn't be clicking on emails that you aren't expecting. Thank goodness for junk, because obviously the stuff, some of the rubbish goes in there too. But be very prudent. The other day, seriously, there was a parenting survey and I clicked on it. Well, there's a lot of women that had forgotten to put their tops on in that survey, and it certainly had nothing to do with parenting. So, my bad. So just watch out, because when your child might be clicking on something that they think is safe, it might not be. So watch out. So that's S for security. A for anonymity. Oh my goodness. When you're sitting in your room, you feel safe. When you're sitting in your bedroom, you feel safe because there's no one there. There's no one watching you. There's no one judging you. There's no one that can harm you. But what kids forget is that actually, as soon as your phone opens you to a world way beyond the end of your street, way beyond the end of your town, and you might feel that, well, those people online don't know me. I'm not known online. I'm not seen online. It's not real. Oh heck, it can get really real. It can get really real. And I have dealt with many calls on Childline where kids were coerced into and being groomed because someone was nice to them online because they thought that it was a mate. His name was Jack and he was 14. No, it wasn't. So watch out, because you are not necessarily anonymous online. F, it is, this leads on from that. It is a very false environment. That 14-year-old Jack could be a 45-year-old paedophile sitting in Arizona in his Y-fronts. It's as simple as that. Let's just get real about it. But also, not only that, this is still F, a false environment. When your child's scrolling through Instagram, Snapchat, looking at all these manufactured selfies that have been filtered, and you know there are now apps to make your lips look bigger, your eyes look sparklier, your waist look thinner, your bum look bigger, whatever you can manufacture everything. And what kids are forgetting is that someone else's Technicolor world is so much more exciting than their black and white world. And yet all these selfies that they're seeing and looking and liking and feeling crap about are manufactured. They're not real. It's all false. It's all a game. It's just that gratification. E, S-A-F-E, E for everlasting. Oh yeah. Once it's on the internet, oh my goodness, you can never get it down. And yeah, you can try. You can ask your friend, you know, if there's a photo, oh my God, I didn't like that, you know, and this is what sexting is all about and why it's so dangerous. And this is why Snapchat is so dangerous, because, you know, you think that it only lasts, you know, a matter of seconds and then it disappears into the ether. No, people do screen grabs, people save stuff, people pass it on to other people. And you might sort of think, you know, and I've seen it happen here locally, how one girl, you know, sort of sent a picture of her scantily clad to her boyfriend and it just went like wildfire. And not everyone's going to do what they're told and take it down. And even if you contact the internet police, it's not going to get taken down everywhere. 51% of employers say they don't hire someone because of the posts they made when they were younger. Or it doesn't necessarily have to be younger. But mainly the majority of that is the posts that they were made at, you know, earlier on in their life that are still hanging around, that can still be tracked, are still traceable. Get your child to Google themselves and see what's there. 1 minute. Because it's scary. Or it could be reassuring, but it stays. All that stuff, it's not everlasting, it stays. tea timings. Now, we've discussed this in previous videos, so I'll put the links in the description. But find out and have a think, how much time is your child spending online? Is it too much? Is it too little? Is it interfering with other stuff? Is it stopping them from having meal times? Is it stopping them taking exercise? Is it interfering with their sleep? Because if that's the case, it is not healthy, and it's important to do something about it. And the last Y, SAFETY, yourself. You as parents are your child's role model. You are the example. So if you're sitting at the meal table doing this, why can't they? If you're permanently scrolling, why can't they? If you're not going to the gym or taking exercise or whatever doing, then don't expect your child to do that. So if your phone is by your bed, you're going to have to start changing. If you want your child to have a healthier relationship with their smartphone, then mum and dad, granny, grandpa, whoever you are going to have to walk the talk. And it's important because children lead by example. Totally. If you are a parent who has, let's say, a fear of spiders, likelihood is that your child is a little bit about spiders as well, because they've learned that behaviour from you. So if you are permanently online, if you are permanently got your nose in your smartphone or whatever your behaviour, it doesn't necessarily have to be online behaviour, but your child will be copying you and learning from you. And also, if they're a little bit older and they are teenagers, you need to have the same rules, because one rule for you is not going to cut it if it's a different rule for your kids, because teenagers are all about fairness. And if they spot the fact that you're not being fair, they'll let you know about it. So, SAFETY. That is how you keep your child safe online. And the 6 P's of the security aspect are the people, the personal details, passwords, privacy settings, public Wi-Fi, and prudence. You just gotta use your common sense. So if you'd like more videos like this, please don't forget to subscribe. It will be lovely to be able to let you know click the notification bell, so you will be notified when I release every Tuesday more videos on this topic and other issues that are affecting our children throughout adolescence: bullying, self-harm, pornography, peer pressure, you name it, it's all coming out. Because together, you and me, we can support our kids and we can help build a mentally healthier and happier generation of young people. And that's what it's all about. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave questions, comments in the box below, and I will do my utmost to respond as quickly as possible. So much love, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye-bye.